Need more evidence the U.S. is about to deport U.S. citizens? Here it is. I'm a lawyer in real life. I don't play one on television, and something happened this week that you need to see and hear in order to believe it.
My amendment is simple, and I hope that it has bipartisan support. It simply states that none of the funds in this bill may be used by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to detain or deport U.S. citizens. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I hope we can all agree that U.S. citizens should never be detained by ICE or any agency conducting civil immigration enforcement. They certainly should not be deported. This should not be a partisan issue. It's about protecting the most basic constitutional rights of U.S. citizens.
Not one Republican voted yes to this amendment.
Clerk will report.
Mr. Chairman, there are 11 ayes and 12 noes.
Not one Republican thought it was important enough to protect U.S. citizens and not use federal funds to deport their own constituents. So ask yourself, why vote against this if you're not intending to use it? Why not protect American citizens if it's not your plan to deport American citizens? You have to watch what they vote for, and most importantly, you have to watch what they refuse to protect. They have voted not to protect American citizens.
Multiple U.S. citizens are being detained and deported by ICE.
They just voted, they being the other ones, not us, because we were all on the right side of history. They just voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted for.
I remember they said we was going to be on a plantation. With Donald Trump getting office, they said we going to be back on a plantation. That never happened. So now y'all gonna deport me? I wanna know where you gonna deport me back to. The outrage was if Trump get in office, he's sending us back to the plantation. Come and find out, my job gave me a raise and said, Daniel, keep up the good work. They kept saying we gonna get deported. I'm trying to figure out where you gonna deport me to. All I'm gonna say is if y'all gonna deport me, do not send me to Africa. Do not send me there. I do not want to go over there. Just send me back to Brooklyn, East New York. Matter of fact, I was born in Queens. How about that? Deport me back to Queens, Jamaica Hospital. And when I say Jamaica Hospital, that's a place. Jamaica, Queens is a place. It's not a fucking country or island. It's Queens, New York. The hospital name is Jamaica Hospital. So y'all gonna deport me back there. Cool. I'm just trying to figure out. When is this deportation, when the deportations will start happening for us. So I can get my priorities in order. What, y'all gonna make me self-deport back to Brooklyn?
Welcome back to the channel. So I was scrolling through my feed and suddenly I'm seeing a lot of these trending videos from Black creators, white creators, commentators, history buffs, everybody breaking down this whole idea of making America white and can US citizens actually be deported? Some are digging up history, talking about loopholes, exposing what they believe are steps being taken quietly, and telling folks, especially people of color, to stay alert because something isn't adding up. On the other side, there's a whole different school of thought saying, nah, that's impossible. You cannot deport a US citizen. It's unconstitutional, and if the government ever tries something wild in this country, it's not going to end well at all. So which school of thought do you belong to? Do you think there's something to be concerned about? Or do you think it's all just people overreacting online? I've put together a few clips so you all can see exactly what I'm talking about, and then I'll come back with my thoughts after that. But before we roll the clips, full credit to all creators featured in this segment. All right, let's get into it.
If you are a person of color, if you know or love a person of color, or if you think the United States of America would be boring if it was just made up of people who look like me, then I need you to listen, because I'm going to post on Saturday about the Department of Homeland Security's social media post that said, quote, "The stakes have never been higher and the goal has never been clearer. Remigration now." And that post went kind of viral, and I've had a lot of questions about, are there any updates? And I'll be honest with you, since Saturday, I've been reading about this nonstop, and the answer is yes. There are some updates, and the updates make the original post even more concerning. They have said this does not apply just to people who are non-citizens. They're talking about citizens too. These aren't normal policy phrases. They line up almost word for word with language used by the European far right to describe removal of people and controlling those who come in. And they even use that phrase to apply to citizens. And it's not just talk. I wish it were.
But please know that the rest of us, the blacks, any other minority, mixed race, biracial, however you identify, if you are not pure white, they're coming for you too. So what I would like is for everyone who voted for this administration to let me know in the comments whether you knew you were voting for this and this is what you stand by, or if you feel like this isn't what you voted for and you are no longer supporting this administration. And those of you that didn't vote for this, let me know in the comments how you feel about this. I am absolutely disgusted that this is the America that we live in. What happened to checks and balances? Rant over.
Remigration now is code for ethnic cleansing and mass deportations, whether you're a citizen or not. It started meaning that certain demographics were returning home voluntarily, but it's been hijacked mostly by European neo-Nazi circles and alt-right circles here in the United States, the same ones that are actually running our government at the moment, to mean not returning home and not voluntarily, but more along the lines of, let's get rid of anyone we don't want in this country that we want to be all white. Yes, this term has traveled from European fascist circles and movements into possibly, and quite obviously, I would say, into the US government's language. And yeah, we should definitely be concerned. It's far-right extremist code for eliminate, extinguish, exterminate, and deport anyone that you don't feel belongs, whether they are citizens or not, whether they were born here or not, whether their family has been here longer than you or not. Which means any of us can get it. Everyone should see what it is and what they're saying. They want a white America, a whites-only America. And they're not being quiet about it anymore.
They will take anyone of color, United States citizens, people born here, and they will re-migrate them. That means out of the country. Can you believe that? So if you have biracial children or biracial grandchildren, your world's about to change.
Unfortunately, I keep hearing black men say, where would they send us? They can't deport us. We're from here. We are Americans. I get that. That is absolutely true. But don't think you can't be deported. It wouldn't work like it's working with immigrants right now, right? Like ICE wouldn't come to your house, kidnap you, and put you in a black van. What it would probably look like, and I don't mean to be hyperbolic or paranoid, what it would probably look like is you find yourself in some trouble, right? And maybe it's not you. Maybe it's your cousin. Maybe it's your son, your daughter, your auntie, uncle, somebody like that, right? They find themselves in some trouble. They appear in front of a judge. The judge says, hey, we are offering you a plea deal. The prosecution is offering you a plea deal. You can take these 3 years or go to trial and risk serving 10 to 15 years, right? And because you don't want to go to jail, you're represented by an overworked and underpaid public defender. You say, hey, yes, I'll take the plea deal because, you know, I don't want to spend 10 to 15 years in prison. You take the plea deal. You get sentenced to prison, but you don't go to an American facility. Right? You don't go to a state prison or a federal prison in America. You get sent off to El Salvador or Guantanamo Bay. Why do you think they're rebuilding Guantanamo Bay right now? Like, I don't mean to exaggerate the situation, but do you think that you are safe? We're not safe as it is. We already see our brothers and sisters getting railroaded to the criminal justice system. We've seen it under Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden, and we're seeing it under Trump, and it's going to continue. But at least we have some constitutional recourse at the moment. If we continue to allow Trump to step all over our constitutional rights, we will have no constitutional recourse. I could tell you how the 5th and the 14th and the 8th Amendment works together to stop us from being sent to Guantanamo Bay. Like, I can go through that whole lecture, but trust me, right now it's bad, but it could get a lot worse.
Remigration is just another racist dog whistle for they want to get rid of everybody who is not white. No, literally. That's what they're saying. This is coming from the official Homeland Security page. That's crazy work.
Let's call remigration what it is, ethnic cleansing in a party dress. This is a far-right European concept to forcibly remove all immigrants and non-assimilated citizens and their descendants to their racial homeland, regardless of their immigration status. This is to create a white ethno-state. And guess who is creating an Office of Remigration in the State Department so that all agencies can work together on repatriation? Let that sink in. Remigration is a white supremacist and white nationalist concept to promote ethno-cultural homogeneity.
No. Let's stop making it seem like Black Americans are at risk for any type of removal. Where are they going to send us to? Never Never Land? Never Never Land is not a real place, guys. Okay? It's not a real place. You really think that they're going to just get rid of almost their whole entire workforce? I mean, really think about this. So they're going to get rid of all of the illegal immigrants, right? The ones who work for dirt cheap. They're going to get rid of all of them. Then they're going to go and they're going to get rid of the Black Americans. Who the is going to do any type of work? They're just going to get rid of everybody who's not YT? I mean, I don't understand, like you're just going to get rid of a big chunk of your workforce? Like that doesn't even make sense. I don't know where this sentiment came from, but I'm honestly tired of it. I'm tired of hearing it from the immigrants. I'm tired of hearing it from other Black American people. I'm tired of hearing it because it's the most ridiculous thing. Sometimes I be feeling like sometimes some of y'all want to leave. Like some of y'all don't want to be here. Some of y'all are hoping that you'll get deported, like into Never Never Land. I don't know where you think you're going. I don't know where you think they sending you. But some of y'all don't want to be here. I don't know why, but you trying to manifest that shit. That's the reason why motherfuckers keep saying it, because you want to manifest that shit. You ain't gotta wait to be deported if you want to leave. You could do that on your own. Tracing your history is great. Tracing your lineage is great. But to do it because you're afraid of eventually being deported or removed it's crazy to me.
Donald Trump told the General Assembly at the United Nations that he wants to make it very clear that America is for Americans. And when he says Americans, I'm pretty sure he means white people. And so I would just like to remind Donny Boy, that toxic waste dump of a person, and any other white people who think that America is for white people, that white people, this is not your country, all right? America is not your country. You stole it. And just because you steal something doesn't make it yours.
And this is historically true. One of the biggest fears that the white man had was for Black people, for Black Americans to wake up and rise up. That's a fear that they've always had. That's why the FBI is always looking for a Black Messiah. And that's why when a Black Messiah, what appears to be a Black Messiah, arrives, they end up taking him out, right? Because they fear Black Americans rising up, okay? We are indigenous here, all right? So I don't know what you guys are talking about, man. Do you not know what would happen if they try to deport Black Americans? It sounds stupid. Even me saying this sounds stupid. But do you know what would happen if they try to deport Black Americans to a place that we've never been before, that we know nothing about, that we have no connections to, right? See, it sounds silly. So y'all need to stop that nonsense, man. Talking about they're gonna deport y'all back to Africa, a place that we ain't never been before. We ain't no Africans, right? Well, I had a chat with ChatGPT. We had an in-depth conversation, right? AI and ChatGPT. And I was asking some questions like, well, that's a good point. It couldn't answer the questions, right? Because if you're telling me that I'm African because we have DNA in Africa, well, they say every human being descended from Africa. So that means the Chinaman should be African too, you know? So what makes them different than me? Well, we've been away for over 500 years, right? And some even say that we were here before then, but they were transported to Africa and then ended up being transported back here. Therefore, that's where you got the thing, oh, you're from Africa. Black people all over this planet, right? You forget the original woman that they found, the oldest bone, was a Black woman. So we've been everywhere on this planet, right? You could say, oh, they're going to deport you back to Africa. We've never been to Africa. We have no connections to Africa. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, wake up one morning and the Iceman is knocking on the door, breaking the door down, saying, okay, get up. We deporting you. You going back to Africa, right? And we're like, Africa? I ain't never been to Africa. Who's in Africa? What part of Africa am I going to? Yeah, you gonna send me back to the continent? What country in Africa am I going to? We just gonna send you back to Africa, because that's where you from. You got family. Who my family in Africa? Where am I gonna live in Africa? I don't know nobody in Africa. You just gonna just send me back to a place that I ain't never been before? This is my country. This is where I'm from. This is where my ancestors are from. Oh, you's from Africa. Where in Africa am I from? And who's my family in Africa? Once I get to Africa, who can I call? Right? Who's my peoples in Africa? What was my African name? See, you see how stupid that sounds, right? What did black Americans do to y'all to make you want black Americans to be deported? To not even like black Americans? You know what I think it is? I think you envy black Americans. I think black Americans are comfortable in a position, because y'all are trying to, for some reason, y'all seem to, be spending a whole lot of time, man. It's like black Americans are living inside your head. You have black American derangement syndrome, right? It's like, well, black Americans ain't taking advantage of the opportunities here. Black Americans are committing all these crimes. But what does that have to do with you? Because a few black Americans, just like from any other race, right? But what does that have to do with you? Black Americans don't work. They lazy. What does that have to do with you? How does that stop you from doing what you're supposed to do? And where are the results of what you've been doing since you've been here? All right. You know what I mean? So why are you all in black Americans' power? Why are you pocket watching black Americans? Right? How does that benefit you? How does that give one inkling to your life? How does that affect you? And who's going to do the deporting? I don't think that's going to happen, because the day that happened is the day that there will be some serious bloodshed here. And that's one of the things that the white man always feared, was black Americans waking up and rising up. So you guys go to X and follow me on X. If you have an X account, formerly as Twitter, go on there and follow me. Fearless J 2008. Fearless J 2008.
Now, here's where I stand in this whole situation. I think when you look at the US right now, the political tension, the racial tension, the economic stress, it makes sense why people are suspicious. Folks have seen too many policies get pushed quietly, but at the same time, stripping citizenship or deporting actual citizens, and that's not something you sneak into a bill. That's basically rewriting the foundation of the country, and millions of people would react instantly. Not just people of color, I mean everybody, myself included. And America in 2025 is not the America of the 1900s. People have phones, platform, receipts, and the ability to organize overnight. If a government tried something like that today, yeah, it wouldn't go quietly. It would set off a chain reaction nobody is ready for. So for me, I think it's less about is deporting citizens possible and more about why so many people feel unsafe enough to believe it could happen. That feeling alone is a sign that trust is low and pressure is high. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Consider joining my community by subscribing, liking, and sharing. It really helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.